An Improvement to the Times by Joseph Scaliger. Book 1, Chapter 1, The Hours and the Other Parts of the Day. From the beginning of ancient times, the parts of the day which we call hours, but which were not in use as their proclaimed age-old argument, in which the days were not cut into parts, but by the actions performed in the daily routine, with vouliton being called evening. As the poet says, demeret emerites cum vego phibos icis. Also, the afternoon time is designated by plethiosis or pleosis agoras, assuredly convening until it's time for the men to go to committum. As Hesiod said, ut en alethio leo creontes ergosin. They say that Hesiod understood the 13th of the lunar month, and Hesiod's place of mind was just as earlier said. When will men have the true trichada of the moon, and not according to political use, but due to the motion of the moon? However, it seems we are under so much compulsion, and Hesiod has the mind to say, trichada, very suitable means in matters of conduct, which men turn from what is right to assemble what is convenient. Homer's Odyssey, me. Nemos de epi dorpan enir agorithen anesti krion nike pola dizak omien aezion. Undoubtedly a better interpretation of the vernacular. So a little further on, he says nimatos en pliilu, speaking of the 11th, whose part is designated with nematos en pliilu, what we now as an adult interpret as a day. Thus, Homer designates noon, otendraitumos, and near dorpan oblistatu. But this is not what ora is, which is now healthy, but the time of everyday actions being noted, with the phrase ora dorpu, ora deipnu. However, in Latin, it is said tempestas, the keepers of the laws of Athens, solo colossum suprema tempestas esto. Nor is it right that somebody expunges tempestas because suprema is absolutely declared, as in Plaetus. In fact, they are clearly in the laws of Solon. How it is the beginning of the tradition. The script is ho helios epitos oran, escati ora esto. A Stoic script in Stobaeus talks about the trials of Socrates, which led to his death sentence. Ke trian nimeran ofto dothiason, ti prota epian, ke og prosminen, tis tritis nimeras tin escaten oran paratirean. In estin helios epiton oran, al aphtharsos ti proti. It is thought that the ancient Hebrews recognized the day with nothing more than morning, noon, and evening, and that is the division of Psalms 55, verse 18. So Homer, Dios ni del ili ni mezon ni mar. This, of course, meant day had the light to the exclusion of the night. In fact, the whole Nyctimeron in Hebrew was divided into 4 parts, as called in the vigils. The first vigil was in the evening, the second in the middle of the night, the third from the beginning of the day, the fourth afternoon, otherwise known by the name Saheh, which today is designated by hour. This significance is also known among Daniel. Their descendants had horologium, heliotropia, which the day can be distinguished by the lines and intervals of the shadows, from which we get the phrase endekapuskia for supper hour or endekapun stoichion, because our literature distinguishes each hour by letters, testament and epigram to horologio. Ex ora mocthios, akenotate, e de met aftos grammasi, degnimi va. Zeta, eta, theta, iota, legusi vrotois. Indeed, before the zeta, eta, theta, iota, there was an alpha, beta, gamma, delta, epsilon, stigma. Arabs, Persian, and the rest of the Oriental people used not sundials, but the natural interval of times of morning, noon, and evening to denote the day, as is the custom today. Astronomers have a division of their own into 60ths of the first, second, third, etc. orders. Artesians computed the year in hours, degrees, even showing minutes and subdivisions, hours being 4-part, 40 minutes, 480 seconds, 1760 thirds, has arbitrarily enriched us more than any other division released. Oriental mathematicians compiled compendiums on the resolution of the hours. It is not a 60th of a minute, but 1/1080th part, so that it corresponds to 18 parts to 1 minute of the hour, as is the division today in Judea, Samaria, Arabia, Persia, and the other Oriental nations. Within the 60th there are discrepancies. Cycles of 60 have been tabulated for the two.